Mexico City. And now off to the bullfight. Oh, that must be an usher. Yeah, I'll just follow him. Oh, Magoo's certainly out of condition. Well, I'll just sit on this rock and rest for a minute. Oh, this must be where they keep the bulls. He certainly is ferocious looking. Ha, Toro! He doesn't seem to see me. No wonder the light in here is so glary. They need General Electric soft white bulbs. There's less glare with GE soft white. No harsh shadows either. You see? It's soft, even light. And GE three-way bulbs let you choose your level of light. High, medium, and low.
Support your Olympic team. Send a contribution to Olympic Fund, 57 Park Avenue, New York, New York.
I don't want to hear it. How about that, Red? Ladies and gentlemen, very rarely, one of the nice things about working at NBC when you go into sub for Johnny is that, well, you have everything going for you. By that I mean, if you should happen to get a guess that you don't know a lot about, there's a marvelous staff here at NBC who compiles a lot of things. Most of the time, I'm sure that Johnny or whoever is his guest host will refer to it occasionally, because we all forget. But when you're coming in for a week, like I am, the producer, Stan, has been nice enough to get all of the people that I sort of communicate with one way or another. But I would like to read this verbatim, because I think you might understand why at the end of it. 32 years ago, in 1936, the World Olympics was being held in Nazi Germany. Adolf Hitler was making his preliminary guttural noises about world conquest and, of course, the super race. And the Fuhrer attended the Olympic Games, banking on a landslide victory for the German youth. He was to be sadly disappointed indeed. As a young American, literally ran away with the Olympics, winning 4 gold medals and infuriating Hitler so much that he refused to congratulate said American for his victories. Least you get the impression that Adolf Hitler was a sore loser. That man is here to tell us about the incident and show us a great film clip, I think, from his upcoming TV special, which will be on March 29th. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome for a great athlete, a great American, Mr. Jesse Owens. Jesse was just kind enough to hand me something. It just says, Sammy, 1,000 thanks. You're so kind and generous. I am proud to be your friend. Hubert Humphrey.
How about that, you cats at 140 feet?
Jesse, thank you for coming tonight. I thank you. Would you show us the film? All right, and watch the monitors, ladies and gentlemen, if you would.
This was the supreme moment for Chancellor Hitler. The German team passed in review. 600 men and women. Members of the military. The Chancellor would now formally open the games. I proclaim open the Olympic Games of Berlin, celebrating the 11th Olympiad of the modern Olympic era. The finals got underway. Based on the morning round, Lutz Long was given a good chance at winning the gold medal. With each of us having 2 jumps left in the final, he was only 1 inch behind me. Now he was getting ready for his second attempt. It was a magnificent effort. "25 feet 9 3/4 of an inch. Incredible as it may seem when you're dealing in fractions of inches, it was the exact distance I jumped on my first try. We are now tied. Now my second jump. Again, I hit perfectly. 26 feet 1/2 inches. I was ahead by a little more than 2 inches. This is it. A lifetime of training for just 10 seconds.
I'll keep that, sir.
Strandberg. Wyckoff. Metcalf. Grossmeyer.
Perfect.
Metcalf by a yard. Rosendorf 3rd. Wyckoff 4th. Grossmeyer 5th. Strandberg 6th.
I'm very glad to have won the 100 meters in the Olympic Games here in Berlin. A very beautiful place and a very beautiful setting. The competition was grand, and we're very glad to come out on top. Thank you very kindly.
I got 1,000 things I want to ask you, but we have to do this. Are you tired of wearing the same old thing? I ain't never gonna forget Hitler's look, boy. That's the...
Tired of wearing the same old thing? Step into the exciting world of Singer fabrics and change your image. Create a sensational new wardrobe. Find colorful Singer fabrics. Bewitching Singer fabrics. See all the newest fabrics, plus notions and patterns in over 750 Singer centers in all 50 states. See the magic of the Golden Touch and Sew machine with the push-button bobbin and solid-state control. A touch and sew machine is so easy to own. There are 5 models from $149.95. Other new Singer machines from $69.95. Discover the exciting world of Singer fabrics. What's new for tomorrow is at Singer today.
The last time I saw anyone run that fast was me, back in 1940, when I went down 116th Street and took a chick out. And the cats in the corner found me out with her, and I was from 140th Street, and they chased me all the way back to 140th Street. And I was running, I think, about that fast. Jesse, seriously, that's not only a great piece of film. Suddenly, I watched that film. Not that you're not always, but I hope you understand what I mean. I hope the people understand what I mean. And I gotta say it just this way. I am so damn proud to be an American.
Well, Sammy, I think that this is the way I've always felt. I know no other country in the world beside America. And certainly all that I have and all that has happened to me has happened in this nation of mine.
And I've always felt that participation was courage, and participation was the thing that we should do. And I feel that any time that you're able to wear the uniform of this country on the friendly field of competition, as we did in 1936 and as we've done in the past, then I feel that it's quite an honor. Because if you think in the millions of boys that are participating in the various sports that we have in this country, and we're only going to pick 4 men for each event, and the millions that are participating, and you're only going to pick 4, and you're one of the 4, then I think you can count your athletic career as a great success.
Well, let me ask you something. I agree with that. But as we know, the times and the moods of any nation changes. Now, I go on record now as saying I totally agree with what you've just said. But what about the young black athletes of today who feel that they must voice an opinion in terms of various protests, in terms of conditions that exist within our society? What do you think in terms of the boycott that is going on?
Well, let me paraphrase it this way. You know, when Buddy Greenspan and I went back to Germany,
Yeah.
and Buddy, of course, is the director and the producer of this film, the number of things we talked about. And when the story came out about the boycott of the games this year, and I began to look and remember I was standing at a window in a hotel, the Paramount Hotel here in 1936, wondering whether or not we were going to go to the games at that time. Because, you know, at that time there was a lot of controversy in reference to the Jewish problem in Germany. And Hitler was preaching and raising Cain about Aryan supremacy. And we didn't know whether or not we were going to go. In fact, we didn't know that we were going to go until about 2 days prior to the sailing to the distant shores of Berlin, Germany. And today, the climate of the times then is pretty much like it is today. And I feel that it's the right of every American citizen to speak and to voice an opinion. But I also feel that it is the right of the American, and particularly those that are in college today, to think in terms of what it's going to mean to the future. We just cannot think today that we must have what we want today. There is a tomorrow. And the vice president was talking about the youth. And the greatest commodity that America has is the young peoples of this land in which we live. And certainly those boys that are talking about the boycott today are the youngsters that are looked upon by millions of youngsters. They want to walk into the footsteps of these people. And if they're going to feel that they should not participate, then I say to them, go to the games. Hang your political and your religious beliefs on the outside. Go into the Olympic Village and live and dance and break bread with others and enjoy the company of other nations of the world. Then you begin to realize what it is, the thing that we call brotherhood of man. And when he comes back home, if he's successful, whether he is or not, he's still wearing USA. And when he walks back to that community, he has a different feeling because millions want to walk into his footsteps and what he can do for the betterment of his community, of his people, and for this land as a whole. And certainly will work to make this a better world and a better place for mankind to live.
As I see it, you don't know how to express yourself. That's your big problem. You run good, buddy, but you don't know how to... I've never heard anything so eloquently put in my life, because I believe that. And being a little bit of I think maybe there's a couple of years difference between our ages, but I believe the same way. And I believe in terms maybe of the thinking cat now, everybody is very totally aware of blackness today. I think one of the great things to do, if our cats can go over there and wrap it up, that would be the best thing in the world in terms of blackness. You dig what I mean? If that's their point of view and it's for the race, then go over there and wipe out the cats. But do it win everything and come back and go, sock it to me, baby, you know. Here's a word from your local station. We'll be right back with everybody.